Hello guys, how are you? Thank you so much to invited me. I'm so happy to be here and talk about time, cooking, future. But to talk about future, I need to come back a little bit and talk about how I starting to change and why is that so important to me, the place where I come from, my family, the producer, agriculture and everything. So I start my career as a chef between my university as journalist. So back in 10, 12 years ago, I was in the States and well, I was doing like a working experience and I started in the kitchen as like a dishwasher and then in the grill, whatever. And when I went back to Brazil and I started working in a hotel. This was like maybe 2004, 2005. And well, I saw myself in like this huge breakfast, like buffet breakfast. And all the jams, all the things in the breakfast was like imported, from France, from Italy. And I'm like, wow, we have so much small producers here that produce so much good jams, and we have the fruit in the season, like strawberry season, like the best strawberry we have like in 2 or 3 weeks during the year. And we have so different kind of fruits like cupuaçu and buchia, and I'm like, oh, we should put, this jam, and we should look in our garden, we should look our yard, and then maybe can take these small producers, maybe these new ingredients, and to show people, people need to understand, where they come from, where the product come from. And I was like 23 years old and I was a chef in that hotel. And then I create in this buffet, a part of this buffet was dedicated for small producers, like the milk, the organic milk come from a cow and a jam, butter, bread, the eggs. And so I started that back in, Manu is gonna be 10 years next year, back like 14 years ago. And then I decided to do, because I was thinking, you need to know to understand the history of the place that you come from. I need to understand who was I, in that time, and maybe like I understand that, I need to be back, I need to understand where's the place that I come from, who is the producers here, where's the best climate, the latitude, the altitude, and how's the land, the rain here, the climate and everything. So I created this expedition, where I and then some of the staff from the hotel went in my car, and then we travel around the state and maybe other state like Santa Catarina, really close, to see like the producer of like the cow milk, maybe the sheep milk, and cheese producers, and then the letters, where the best letters come from, how was the type of the agriculture that these people, these producers, they believe, and I start to understand what's my role here with this community, and these producers. And I start to understand a little bit about farming and agriculture. And so I create this big house of producers, like the best oyster producers, the best fishermen, and then the best tomato that I find in my region, And then I opened my restaurant in 2011, and I wanna, do something. It's not just, okay, I opened the restaurant because I wanna show show these people how these ingredients and how these producers, they are so important to me. And why they are important, not just for me, but for a change. I was needing to show the people the importance of the life, the importance of food, and how food can change the world. So when I started the restaurant in the beginning, it was a little bit crazy because some of the people come to do this tasting menu, and I was the first restaurant in my area in south of Brazil have the tasting menu. So people arrive in the restaurant, and was a little bit expensive, of course. And then in the end of the dinner, people come to me and said, oh, I miss the caviar, the foie gras. And I'm like, oh my God. And I was like, I was trying to explain, like, okay, but I'm trying to change. You can see like this best cauliflower that we have in July and June and August is like the best season of the cauliflower, and it's so incredible cauliflower. And then the people was like, okay. And then I saw how important is to me be in the kitchen and show these people. And that's when I realized I can't be in other part of the world. My work is here, and I need to inform and I need to educate my customer, my client, and I need to change them. And I need these people see how important is you eat better, you understand where your food comes from, and you have these producers so near you, and we need to reconnect again. We need to reconnect with the garden, with the animals. And it was looking like to me like we are not even working side by side with the nature. We were like against the nature, because we need strawberry all over the year, and we need like rucola all over the year. We need like this huge plantation of lettuce, like how these lettuce is like the same size. And what about agriculture? How we need a change. And so I realized I want to change. And then I started this project beside the restaurant, that it's a really small restaurant, and I couldn't help all the producer, but I saw I can help them, not just make them they sell their food, but maybe how inform them, how can I educate them, how can I say to them, you guys are so important, and this is farming. This is like when you work together, because it's not my producer, but he is the producer for all over the chefs and in the houses. We need to reconnect these people with the food. So my life started to reconnect again, reconnect with me, reconnect with my land, where I come from, my family, and all the things that I want to defend, all the things that I want to connect. And then I started to understand my job here is not just serving good and amazing food, but I need to do something more for my community. I need to create and have more ideas. I need to work in the school. I need the kids eat better. I need to do more farming. I need to be in the urban garden. I need to involve more in the Stingler Bees project. So I started to work with this urban garden all over my city. And today they have like 5,000 urban gardens. Of course, it's not my I help them to do better, to understand more about the seeds, about some plants that these people they not eat it, like the beets, the leaves of the beets, the leaves of the carrots. So we are trying to give this information for the farming, and then we can do this job together with some ideas and reconnecting the chefs and the urban garden. So when they started this project, Urban Garden, was to reconnect cooks with the farming again, and the cooks can understand how is the season, how important is the weather, how important is the sun and the climate change, the rain and everything, how these affected in our kitchen. Because the mise en place is starting at the garden, is starting the land. The mise en place of your beef is starting there. What are your cow eat today? Do you know? Do you ask? Do you have this kind of work with your producer? And so that's when I started this relationship with my food, with my ingredients, because I think this relationship, it's so tight that we need to work together for have like the best vegetables. Like for me, for you have like the best beet and the best carrot, I need to take them in a full moon, because for my type of agriculture, I believe a lot in the moon. So it's why your beet is so different than the other ones, because I know the time that we can take, you cannot take during the day, in the hot sun, maybe early morning or in the end of the day. So we need to do that. we need to have the best ingredient for we can have the best dish. So this was something that come to me and said, wow, I need a change. And then I started to understand how time and cooking, and we are always in a rush. Not just chefs, not just cook, but everyone is in a rush. We didn't realize what we are putting in our mouth, what we are eating. We never have time to cook. We never have time to our relationship with the food, and how we're gonna teach that for the kids, how we're gonna teach that for our clients, how we're gonna teach that for the world. So now for me, time and cooking is something we need to work together. Other day I was with a friend of mine, a really good chef, and she has this phrase, cooking is ingredients. And this is so important. And it's so important to work with the products that you have around you. Our job as a cook is to use our creativity to change. So if I have just cauliflower and broccolis, I'm gonna take these broccolis and I'm gonna put these broccolis with the best dress ever. I always compare that because I always think like when I'm gonna put a dress, I need to be beautiful, I need to be, you know, nice. And maybe this dress is just good for me, for my body, it's not good for other girl, whatever. It's the same when you use techniques. So you have to use the best technique for that broccoli or that cauliflower or that fish, because you don't want to kill that fish and then come in the fish. And I always say, sometimes I'm going out and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sad that fish died for that. And it's killing twice, you know. You kill the first time and then you kill the second time for a plate, you know. So I always think the ingredients, they die for you. So we need to do our best, you know, and do the best dish that you can do with the simple ingredients, you know, and the ingredients that you have around you. Not just simple, but the ingredients that's around you, they don't travel, they are in the best season, and you need to understand that connection again. I think society, we need to change. We have to change for the future. We need to change for the animals. We need to change for our kids. We need to change, you know, for the planet. And that change have to start now. And I think food is so important, because if we have better food, we eat healthy, we understand what we are putting in our mouth, the disease as obesity, cancer, high pressure, and everything is gonna come down. Because food is really connected to the disease. Food is really connected to the climate change. Food is really connected to the fire that is having all over the planet now. So I think our job as a cook is not just to serve a good food, but we need to understand the whole process. We need to understand about the trash. We need to understand about everything. This is our mise en place today. So I think our role as a chef, as a cook, is to change, is to use it, our social media, it's the power that we have in our hands, is to use as an example. And we need the change right away. And I always say, for me, it's like my mother always told me how important is our hands and the time. And my father always told me how important is you to take care, you know, the land, you to take care of the animals, you take care of the nature, because they are the future. And we need to do that. For me, I always say to my kids when I wake up to work, and I never say work because the word work is kind of like heavy, because you always left the kids at home and then I'm going work. So it's look like I'm not gonna have fun today, I'm not gonna be with you guys, and I'm going work. So we try to change that word here at home, and always I wake up in the morning when I go out, I said, hey girls, I'm gonna change the word. Doesn't matter if you just change your community or you just change your kitchen, but you're changing something, you are doing something. I wrote some things for I don't forget, but I think it's a moment that we need a pause and we need to reflect. We need an action, we need decision, we need advances. Reflection, the way we live, the way we think, the way we're dealing, the way we are relating, and the way we are looking the problem. We need to look the future different. We need to look the future as a good person. We need to make that change. We must fight for the quality of food, the diversity, and work with our farmers, fishermen, and local producers. Food must be the way to defending our philosophy and the way we are telling a story. And let's make a new story. Let's make a new future. Let's understand what our planet needs, and let's work side by side with nature. My understanding about food changing completely when I'm into connecting with the land. That is the most important thing that happened in my life. And I think like sometimes we look and said, oh, how I'm gonna change, how I can do that. Maybe you can go just in your kids' school, or if you don't have a kids, just go in a school near a house or near a restaurant and ask them, hey, do you wanna be a speaker and talk about food? Maybe I can give some recipes, health recipes. I can do some teaching school. I don't know. You can do like lives in Instagram. But we need to do a change, and like if everyone connect together, we can work much better. That's the way the ingredient inspired me so much. I want to talk just for the end of this program, talk how we did that change here in my city. So we started work with the communities in the urban gardens. So we create the urban gardens. It's not just for they sell food, for they have extra cash, of course, but we create that to change the way they eat at home, the way they think at home, how they can bring their trash and do their own composts, how they can use that compost to harvest more, how you can have corn and beans and pumpkin together in the same space. You know, how important is that? So that's the way we start in this urban garden for the community can have a little space for they can plant their own food. It's so important that you plant your own food. You can, the feeling that you feel, it's amazing. And then for the ingredients for this urban garden, we need bees. And I don't know if all of you knows, but we have the stingly bees in Brazil. It's the country that we have more species and different types. And the stingly bees here, it's really important because some of the fruits, the native fruits from Atlantic forest, just these bees can go and do the pollination. So we starting to put these bee boxes around the city. I have in front of the restaurant, I have in my house, and I was trying to use as example, like you can put these little, they don't bite. So you can put these little bees in your house, in front of your restaurant, maybe in the backyard, and these bees can, can pollination that your place or maybe the trees that you live. So I was trying to, using me like an example, and people can put that in their own home. And the other job that we do, it's a social job that we cook really healthy food for the homeless people once in a week. So we deliver 300 plates every week. We call Women's for Good, Mulheres do Bem in Brazil. And we trying to show these homeless, it's not just about eating like rice, beans, potato, and meat. Maybe you can have a beet burger. Maybe you can, like yesterday, we did like chicken with carrot sauce and like a green salad and with some beans and some rice. And maybe we need a change, and then we are trying to show them how we can do that. Another thing that we start 2 weeks ago that I'm really happy. I'm saying that you guys maybe inspire someone in whatever you guys are and all over the place in the countries. But this is we go in the community and then we buy a lot of worms and hummus and then a little seeds and flowers, comestible flowers. and then we create a garden, a small garden in trash. Like maybe the sink they left over, maybe we did in a little bucket for the kids, for when kids play by the beach. We use that for create, gardens, and then maybe in 8 months of the year, they can be a garden, maybe, and then in the end of the month, in the end of the year, you can use that by the beach. So we are trying to change that, and then doesn't have like too much trash. Other day we did in a couch, like a beautiful garden in an old couch, and it was really incredible. It was in a garden of one of the girls in the community. So it's really nice when you give information and education. And I really wanna write the food story again. And I think we need to be together. We need to be creative. And if we are, all the chefs and the cook wanna change and have like the best ingredient and the flavors and understand the whole process and how important it is. Thank you so much. I'm so glad to be here, and I hope this can inspire and have a little seeds for you guys, and then it's just about you to grow that seed and put water every day, and let's make a change together. Let's write a new story.